Welcome everyone to another edition of Pillar to Post, and tonight is your NXT report. Straight out of the dungeon of the Dungeon Dweller, I am Pete Wall, the host of Pillar to Post. And tonight, NXT delivered once again where Raw and SmackDown failed to do so. And we got SmackDown going into their very own Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and they still could not put on a show like we seen tonight from NXT. Now, I want to make a point here. The matches leading up to the main event tonight might not have been top-notch material. It was jobber night for 3/4 of NXT. But I kind of like the old school throwback by elevating your talent through enhancement talent. And that's what they did tonight. They elevated Drew McIntyre. They elevated the Velveteen Dream. They elevated AOP. And that is what was needed. So they did it. Now, not every night needs to be a big match. But there needs to be something of substance on each show. And for an hour-long show, NXT is always on point. Now, I'm not going to say that they're not going to make mistakes or they've had bad shows. They have had bad shows. Tonight, for the most part, if it would have kept on going the way it did with, a big talent against enhancement talent all night long through, I would have been bitching. But that main event, by God, these women put it on the line, and it made the entire show worthwhile. Now, even though they were using enhancement talent, that's usually local talent from the city they're in, but I don't know where these guys are from, really. They're up at the university, they're Full Sail University, where they're shooting everything, but these enhancement talents still did things in the ring that helped elevate the main roster guys. We're going to look at Drew McIntyre first. His match. He got the shit slapped out of his mouth a couple of times, man. And you could hear it was a good connection between hand and face. Now, I'm not going to say that Drew McIntyre had a great match, but he looked good. Now, we got some big news for next week, and I'll get to that when I get there. But Drew McIntyre, I think they're doing him right. I think they're doing him a service, the way they are working him. You look at the way he was billed when he first came into WWE. He was billed by Vince McMahon himself, the chosen one, the next big thing in WWE, and look what happened to him. Look at his first run. What was he dealt near the end when he left? He was in a jobber threesome group, playing air guitar and acting like a dumbass and losing. Now look where he is. Yeah, he's not at the top of NXT right now, but they're building him up gradually, and they are savoring those big match moments for the right time. And I have to agree with that. Because you want to bill a guy the right way, you have to start him off slow. They rush things way too much sometimes. And this part, they are doing it right. Same with Aleister Black. Aleister Black is being worked the same way. And I do apologize, I got something in my eye. But they're working Aleister Black the same way. Now, I have been waiting eagerly for a bigger match for Aleister Black to come around, and we're getting that very, very damn soon. So, Drew McIntyre starts off the show. Great match. It wasn't one of those overwhelmingly great matches. I shouldn't have even used great match. It was a good match because he was wrestling enhancement talent. But getting smacked around a little bit the way he was, it made the match look better. Now, you could clearly see during the match he was getting more frustrated. And at one point, he had his opponent up on the top rope, and he got smacked across the face. And he looked that little bastard right in the eyes, and he goes, "You want to hit me?" And instead of slapping him back, he just kind of shoves him off the top rope by his elbow. Sends the guy crashing to the floor. Now, on a few occasions, we've seen him grab this little man and throw him 3/4 across the ring. A belly-to-belly that went from corner to corner. It was beautiful. Everything Drew McIntyre is doing right now is bettering his career here in WWE, especially in NXT, where he needed that time to rebuild himself. And he did a wonderful job rebuilding himself away from WWE. Now he's got to rebuild himself once again into that, I'm not going to say chosen one, but the next big thing. Now he's going to make waves here in NXT. And I can't wait for the time when he actually gets elevated to the main roster. And if he is worked properly, this guy is going to break that glass ceiling and will be a heavyweight champion like he deserved to be the first time around. Now, they built him wrong the last time. They are building him correctly now. They're starting him off slow and gradually building him up. I like it. Now, at the end of this match, he ends it with a Claymore. And that is basically a Yakuza kick to the face of his opponent. Now, I believe his opponent's name was Rob Reiser, but does it really matter who it was? It was enhancement talent, and he did enhance the talent that he was facing tonight. He made Drew McIntyre look good. Can't shit on stuff that makes sense to do. Now, this whole night was based on the main event. They wanted to make that main event big. So I can understand everything they did in this show. So let me get up my paperwork, but before we go any further, today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. You can get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial using this link I give you right now, www.audibletrial.com/pillar2post. Now that is a capital P for pillar, a capital T for 2, and capital P for post. I'm going to have that link in the description below. Make sure you take advantage of it because they have over 200,000 titles to choose from. Any genre that you can think of, they have it. Be it wrestling related, be it fantasy fiction, be it romance, science fiction, and autobiographies, wrestling related content. AJ Lee just came out with her autobiography, Crazy is My Superpower, as well as Justin Roberts, who has also done an autobiography about his life and time in WWE, and there is so much more. Now, you can use these for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player, or any other traveling device you might have that is capable of downloading these audiobooks. You can take it to the gym, you can take it to a camping trip, a car ride, a fishing trip. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You can take this along with you. You have that option. Now, if you don't feel like sticking it out for those free 30 days membership, you can cancel the same day right after you download your free audiobook, and you keep your audiobook. Now, regardless, whatever you decide to do, as long as you take this offer, you're helping Pillar to Post out. You're helping this channel grow. You're helping it be sustainable, and you're helping Audible get that, get their name out there and about. So do me a favor, take advantage of this. Also, you can find my Teespring Store in the description below, as well as my Facebook merchandise page, my Facebook author page, and if you want to send me a friend request, that link is there as well. Patreon will be used, finally. I get my shit together. I don't have to worry about a flood in the basement. I don't have to worry about exploding my barbecuer. I don't have to worry about anything. I can get back on my schedule. I want to give a shout out to my friend Tyler Black. He recently became a patron of mine. I thank you and I appreciate. He pledged $5. Now you can pledge for as low as $1 a month, and this helps Pillar to Post. everything that you pledge will be put towards making Pillar to Post a better show. Now it'll be finishing the studio. It'll be getting wrestling crate boxes or whatever the case may be. Getting a new game to play for live stream. It doesn't matter what it is. Right now, I'm trying to build this community up, and I thank everyone, and I appreciate everyone that subscribes and pledges and upvotes and follows. Also, since I'm talking about it, VidMe followers, please always help this channel out by upvoting if you've enjoyed the videos, and continue to follow, pass those links around for me, and help this community grow. And I'm going to throw this offer out there because I am starting an indie program here with the PS4. I'm inviting everyone that has a podcast on VidMe or on YouTube that is wrestling related content. If you have a wrestler created and you want them involved in this indie fed that I'm running with the PS4, comment in the comments below. Tell me your wrestler name, the hashtag you use for them. I will download them and add them to the roster, and we are going to bring something new and different. We're building a community here. We're actually working with Facebook Wrestling as well as YouTubers who enjoy wrestling. We're combining the two communities into this indie federation here on Pillar to Post. And we're going to do that probably twice a week. We're going to have a big roster, a shitload of wrestlers signed up from Facebook this week. And I've got to get my ass cracking on developing some great looking wrestlers for this federation that I'm running through the PS4. So if you want to join me on VidMe, it is at vid.me/pillar2post. Also, Patreon. Patreon is patreon.com/pillar2post, all in lower caps. So there's that. My Twitter handle, @pillar2post77. Now you can also send me sub-stories, be it wrestling related, be it life in general. You want to send me a sub-story where you've overcome adversity and health, and to come back from that and be someone new and accomplish something you've always wanted to do. Tomorrow, actually I'm going to record tonight, but for my Patreons, you'll have that tonight yet. From Pillar to Post, I'm going to do the very first sub-story, so you guys know and understand what I'm talking about, what I'm going to do. And there's going to be two stories about me. There's going to be my adversities that I've gone through, and there's going to be a wrestling moment that really made me pop and enjoy wrestling. So we're going to have that, and you can send that to me at steeldragon1234@hotmail.com. And that is all in the description below this video. Make sure you check that out. So let's move on. Like I said, Drew McIntyre versus Rob Risen. An enhancement talent, a local boy at most, probably. I don't know. Now, Drew McIntyre and Risen lock up. McIntyre tosses Risen to the mat with a suplex. Now, Risen backflips out of a back suplex attempt, and he slaps McIntyre on the chest and screams, I ain't afraid of Big Bad Drew. And he paid for that little comment by getting a boot in the face. And it looked picture perfect, because anyone would have ever done that shit to me, I would have frickin' creamed him just like McIntyre did. I wouldn't take that shit from no punk. Now, McIntyre promptly kicks Risen in the face. McIntyre suplexes Risen across the ring from pillar to post. That's why I chose that name, because it is a perfect metaphor for what Drew McIntyre did to this punk, Rob Risen. Now, Risen kicks McIntyre in the stomach as he attempts to pick him up. McIntyre crushes Risen in the corner and climbs to the top rope and delivers a diving axe handle off the top rope. Now, Risen slaps McIntyre in the face following this, and McIntyre sits Risen up on the top rope, and McIntyre headbutts Risen off the top rope. Actually, it wasn't a headbutt, I'm sorry. I wrote that down in a rush. It was an elbow to the side of the head, knocked him off the rope because he slapped him once again. Now McIntyre drags Ryzen back into the ring, and he delivers the Claymore, that Yakuza kick, to the face of Rob Ryzen, your winner, Drew McIntyre. And like I said, enhancement talent is always supposed to make the main talent look good, and that's what happened here. Drew McIntyre continues to look good. Yes, it's a slow build to his career in NXT, but it's being done the way it should have the first time around. You don't just take a newcomer and thrust him into the spotlight and feed him to the wolves, and just because he doesn't get over with the fans, you don't just drop him like a sack of shit like you did the first time around. I'm happy Triple H and William Regal are in control of NXT because they are doing things the right way when it comes to their talent. Now, up next, we get the Authors of Pain with Paul Ellering, their manager, versus Faraday and Dominguez. Another two enhancement talents. Now, I did enjoy this match. It started off as a tag team, but quickly turned into a handicap match. So, we basically had, I think it was Akam, start the match off. Paul Ellering calls down Razor, and they start discussing things on the outside of the ring. Razor is no longer on the apron; he's down on the floor with Paul Ellering. They're discussing shit, and Akam tearing apart this tag team like nobody's business. He manhandled these guys like they were nothing, and at that moment, they were nothing. They were absolutely nothing for AOP to just run through, and it only took one man. Now Akam runs over Dominguez and splashes Faraday in the corner. Razor drops off the apron and holds court with Ellering. Now Akam atomic drops Faraday out of the ring, and Ellering is now writing something down that Razor is reading intently. Akam delivers a modified Death Valley driver to Dominguez for the win. Now, after the match, Razor finally gets involved. He goes out to grab the other enhancement talent that got tossed out of the ring, drags him back in the ring, and they end up doing the Super Collider finisher. And we get Ellering on the microphone. And, you know, Ellering might not be where he used to be on his mic skills when he was back in the day with the Road Warriors, but he's doing a damn good job with Authors of Pain. This team would not be as successful without Paul Ellering. They needed someone to be their mouthpiece, and picking Paul Ellering was the right choice. Now, Ellering grabs the mic after the Super Collider has been finished and says heavy machinery are foolish as they are large. Ellering lists all the teams they have beaten. Heavy machinery hits the ring and gets in Akam and Razor's face. Now Ellering pulls the AOP away, and heavy machinery, for some odd reason, celebrate like they won something after the match. This is what didn't make sense to me about this segment right there. Why are they celebrating? Because, you know, Paul Ellering's a smart man and he knows when to let his men fight. It better be for a big show when you're going to face heavy machinery. It might as well be a pay-per-view, which is TakeOver. He's not going to just let Akam and Razor go at him and destroy heavy machinery. Now, this isn't going to be a destruction as they usually see. They are going to have to work to get through heavy machinery. But why do it tonight when there's no money involved? There wouldn't be any money involved. You want it for a big payday, and that's what Ellering is there for. He's there to talk for these guys, make sure they do the smart thing, and it's being done properly. So up next, we get the Velveteen Dream versus Raul Mendoza. Now, I was actually pretty impressed with Raul tonight. He was actually showing us pretty good moves out there, and he was having a very good moment with the Velveteen Dream. Now, I'm still not sure what I think about this Velveteen Dream. He still seems like an Orlando Jordan wannabe. And if you don't know who Orlando Jordan is, you need to go back in WCW history and find out for yourself. Because to me, that's what he looks like right now. He kind of acts like it, and he dresses like it. You know, so to me, it's like a complete ripoff of another wrestler, and you're kind of doing exactly what he was doing. Maybe not the same moves, but, you know, your mannerisms and your acting is still basically on par with what the other guy did. So, the Velveteen Dream double leg drops Mendoza, then steps on his back, walking over him, prancing around like a fairy. Now, Dream poses in and jaws it up with the crowd. Now, Dream floors Mendoza with a shoulder block. Mendoza surprises Dream with a drop kick. Now, Mendoza gets up sets up a springboard, but Dream boots him in the face in mid-air. Now, Dream slaps Mendoza over and over before hitting a suplex. Now, Dream beats down Mendoza while yelling at him to get up. Now, Dream takes off his scarf and whips Mendoza with it. Mendoza kicks Dream in the chest and mounts a bit of an offense before running right into a flapjack. Sorry for the way I'm talking, my throat is acting up. Now, Dream picks up Mendoza and drops him with a cartwheel DVD. And the Dream finishes Mendoza off with a diving elbow drop off the top rope. Kind of like Randy Savage style. Just not as clean, you know? So the Velveteen Dream is your winner of the night. Yes, he defeated, an enhancement talent. But there you go, you know. Mendoza did a lot of things in that match that made Velveteen Dream look a lot better. Now, I'm not going to run through every move that was done. It's too time consuming, and that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to deliver you the results, review the match, and so on. Like I said, I'm still not sold on the whole Velveteen Dream gimmick. This guy has a far way to go yet. And they're starting him off right, starting him off with enhancement talent, and he's going to have to gradually work up. Now, after this match, we get a backstage segment with Cassius Ohno. He's being interviewed. And Ohno says he doesn't know where his friendship with Hideo Itami stands. Ohno sunk to Itami's level. Now, Itami needs to get over his frustration and build a bridge to get over it. Ohno says that next week, he asked William Regal that if he could prove himself. And next week, William Regal has booked this. It will be Cassius Ohno versus Aleister Black. That is a match you don't want to miss. It is going to be perfect. Now, if you don't know who Aleister Black is and you are an indie guy, Aleister Black used to be known as Tommy End. And if you don't like Tommy End, there is something definitely wrong with you. This guy has had outstanding matches so far, but it's time to put him in a bigger match scenario. And this is what I've been waiting for, to see what he can do against upper talent. Not always these nobodies from the indies or enhancement talent to make you look good. I want to see what you can do against a guy like Cassius Ohno, and I'm finally going to get to see that next week. And if you don't like that, man, check yourself into an institution. So, that was all a build-up for the main event. Triple threat elimination rules for the women's title here on NXT. And it was Asuka, who is champion, versus Nikki Cross and Ruby Riott. Man, this match sold everything, okay? If you tuned in for anything of this show, it should have been that main event. They did shit in this match that just went, wow. Okay, and it wasn't even the whole match that was the big thing. What Nikki Cross and Asuka did at the very end of this match and at the very end of the show sold everything. These women are doing things that SmackDown and Raw women's division are too afraid to do, or management is too afraid to let them do. This is where the women's division thrives. All they need is more women talent on this show, and it would be perfect. So Asuka knocks down Riot before assaulting Cross at the top of the match. Asuka hits the ropes, but Cross catches her with a knee. Now Cross drop kicks Riot off the top rope, and Cross thinks she is safe, but as soon as she turns around, Asuka drop kicks her off the top rope. Now Asuka yells at both Riot and Cross, and Riot and Cross clothesline Asuka over the top rope. Cross rolls up Riot, but Riot kicks out at 2. Okay, lost myself here. Now, after the break, Asuka rolls over. Damn it. Should have brought down something to drink. Asuka rolls Riot over for a near fall. Now, Riot dumps Asuka to the outside, and Cross jumps on Riot's back. Riot lands hard, falling on her head. Sorry about that. Now Riot falls onto Cross, and Asuka runs into the ring and almost kicks Riot's face off. This is the same thing we seen at NXT TakeOver. Riot was going for the pinfall on Nikki Cross, and Asuka made the save by kicking Riot right square in the face. Now Cross pulls Asuka out of the ring, and Asuka and Cross battle on the outside. Riot jumps off the apron and drop kicks both Asuka and Cross. Back in the ring, Asuka misses a top rope splash, and Cross seizes the moment and hits the 3-handled moss-covered family credenza. Now Asuka wisely rolls out of the ring and to avoid a pinfall. Riot attacks Cross from behind, and Riot drops Cross with a backdrop driver. Cross kicks out. As Riot is distracted, Cross sits her on the top rope and delivers a spinning neck breaker off the top turnbuckle. Riot is done. Nikki Cross pins Ruby Riot for the first elimination. Ruby Riot gone. So now it is still a triple threat rules match, but it is now Nikki Cross versus Asuka. And if you failed to watch NXT tonight, you lost tonight. I'm telling you, this main event, pitch perfect. Now there was, if you want to nitpick, there was some moves that weren't hit correctly or some flubs in the moves, some off timing. But for the most part, they delivered when it came to the entertainment factor and the wrestling factor. And that is what's important. If you want to nitpick every damn thing in the match, shut the hell up, okay? You're nitpicking for nitpicking's sake. You're trying to find something to bitch over when there isn't anything. Okay? Everyone makes mistakes. Wrestlers have shown that many times over. It's how you deal with that mistake after it happens. And these women dealt with it the perfect way. Now, after we come back from another break, Cross and Asuka are nose to nose, pushing against each other. Now, Asuka and Cross trade vicious strikes, and Asuka floors Cross with a spinning head kick. Asuka follows that up by picking Cross up and deadlift with a deadlift German suplex. Cross kicks out of a 3 count and 2 3/4 count, and Cross tries to set up the same move she finished Riot off with, but Asuka counters and ends up on the apron. Now Asuka axe kicks Cross on the apron, and Cross tumbles to the outside. Asuka lands a diving hip attack off the apron. Cross and Asuka battle up the ramp. Now Asuka whips Cross into the stage and then the barricade. Asuka and Cross battle to the backstage area. The referees are out in full force, but not one of them tries to stop them. They're yelling at them that they need to stop. Now we see Nikki get thrown into these metal fencing girders, whatever the hell they were, and then she was about to get thrown into the steel garage doors. She reversed that, sent Asuka colliding into the garage door. She was going to do something else, and Asuka turned around and just started repeatedly ramming Nikki Cross's head against the garage door. She drags her off into the side door, and they're in the makeup room now. Now she opens up one of the casks, and it is filled with ice water and bottles of water. She's going to put Nikki Cross's face in there. Instead, that's reversed, and Asuka gets a much-needed drink for her efforts. Now, they end up fighting all the way back out to ringside once again, or the stage, I should say. Both of them meet and kiss the announcer's table. And at first I thought what was going to happen was they were going to go back around in another big circle. But no, they ended up by the electronic stage, and they started battling it out there. Now, this all happened long after the referee just called the match a draw. So I can see these two facing in the singles match now. Now, at the very end of this, after they were all finished beating each other up, Asuka and her are standing on a table or a box that holds equipment, and Nikki Cross basically cross bodies Asuka off of this little box there, and they crash through a table. Both of them are out. Medics are down there, referees are down there, and they're telling everyone don't touch their necks, don't move their necks, don't allow them to move, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to see what happens next week. Next week is going to be a big show for NXT. You've got Cassius Ohno going one-on-one with Aleister Black. That match alone sells NXT next week. Now, if they're going to have another match between these women, I don't think Ruby Riott should be involved. She was the first one eliminated, so she should be out of this. This feud between Nikki Cross and Asuka needs to be finished. And now I could see this going further, but I wouldn't expect them to do it next week. I think they should hold off and build it up a little bit more between just these two women, because shit is going to get awesome. These women are delivering where most times SmackDown and Raw's women cannot deliver. So that is your NXT report. If you enjoyed, please hit that subscribe button if you are not a subscriber. Definitely smash the hell out of that like button and hit that little bell. It'll give you all the notifications every time I upload, every time I live stream, and there are live streams coming. I actually might be doing a couple tomorrow. Now, Shooting from the Hip is canceled because Red Rayner from the Heavyweight Mark channel, my co-host for Shooting from the Hip, is sick. He's been in the hospital. I talked to him actually right before the show, and he told me he's finally home. His fever, they finally broke his fever. He sounds like crap. He feels like crap. But he insisted he wanted to do tomorrow's show, and it's like, no, bro. You don't push yourself. You take care of your health first. And then you come back when you're feeling better. We will kick off Shooting from the Hip in a good way. I've got big plans for Shooting from the Hip, and it's me helping Red Rayner out. It's Red Rayner helping me out. It is a community that we're trying to build, and we joined forces to try and build that wrestling community up. And I want to let everyone know I appreciate everything you guys do for me. When you share my links, when you invite new friends of new people over to watch my videos, and they become a part of the show. The circle, that's what I call it, is the circle. Now, there's a reason why I call it the circle. The circle means a lot to me, and it's a bond. It's a steel bond with me. And when you become part of that community, I ain't gonna shit on you, man. I'm not gonna choke you out, and I'm not going to stave off of any of your comments or kick you off of my channel because you said something that I didn't agree with. I'm here to try and build this community up, try and communicate and show you guys that you don't need to be afraid to comment on my videos and talk to me. I'll talk to anybody, man. I'm that type of guy. I only look like an angry Viking. Doesn't mean I really am one. This was Pillar to Post tonight, guys. I thank you, everyone who's watched my NXT report. This was Pillar to Post. As always, I'm Pete Wall. You guys have a great, great night.